What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be covering my top 5 all-time favorite growth stocks. And we did do a video on a topic very similar to this on my top 5 favorite dividend stocks. I'll include that video down in the description below for you guys. Basically, what we did was just rank 1 through 5 my favorite dividend stocks and kind of the reasoning behind why. So that's what we're going to be doing today, but with growth stocks. I will just say very quickly, thank you guys for 15,000 subscribers. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate the support and welcome, along with all of you longtime viewers. That's a really, really great milestone, and the community is just getting bigger and bigger. I will just say one quick point before we get into the video. The 5 stocks that we'll be covering in today's video, I'm not necessarily saying that I think they're currently looking attractive. These are just my top 5 favorite companies of all time. So kind of in contrast to our 3 stocks to buy series, where we highlight 3 investments that I think are currently looking attractive for whatever reason. These are just my top 5 favorite companies. Maybe you can add them to your watch list, and if an opportunity comes along, maybe look at adding them into your portfolio. But let's get started, guys. As always, if you enjoy, give this video a thumbs up. But coming in at number 5, it is the company Visa, ticker V. And taking a look at the performance of the stock, it has been a very, very quality investment to own. A very, very healthy looking trend that we've seen over the years. And I do promise that we're not going to be diving too far into the numbers for this video, but we will just take a look quickly here at their revenue, okay? So we see back in 2014, revenue of $12 billion, $13 billion, $15 billion, $18 billion, then as high as $20 billion. Right below, we have highlighted here the growth in terms of percentages. And it's nothing crazy, right? You know, this isn't like your typical hyper growth stock. Some stocks we'll look at, they're seeing revenue growth of like 40% or 50%. This is really a pretty modest number in relation to some other stocks. But why I consider this one of my favorite growth stocks, my 5th favorite growth stock of all time, is I still think that there is a huge opportunity lying ahead of not only Visa, but kind of the entire payment processing space. When you factor in that something like 70 to 75%, or a very high number, kind of more than you'd expect, over 75% of the world's transactions are still done in cash. When you think over to, you know, maybe some areas in Asia, like some third world countries or developing countries, a lot of those transactions are still not done digitally, which does give a pretty nice growth opportunity for a company like Visa. But here in North America, Europe as well, Visa is just so large, such a dominant company. They have over 3.3 billion cards issued out there, over 54 million merchants across the globe. I know the picture that you're looking at on the screen is a little bit outdated, and with such a great business model, I mean, really what they're doing is just chilling back and just collecting fees every time people swipe their cards. As the world continues to evolve and just shift to more and more of these digital payments, Visa is in a pretty prime position to continue growing, and that's why it comes in at number 5. Moving on to number 4, it is the company Google, or Alphabet. And this is definitely one of my all-time favorites. I actually don't own the company Alphabet. I never have, and I'd love to at some point, but just currently I don't. But this is a company that, again, is a very established technology company. They're kind of in all the right places. You know, clearly you got their search engines in Google. YouTube is obviously massive, and, you know, being a YouTube creator myself, I gotta show some support for Google, or for Alphabet, I should say. But aside from the obvious search engines, Google is a huge, huge player in the autonomous driving space, which is definitely a direction that I see our society heading. You know, everyone likes to think of like the Teslas and the Ubers when they think of self-driving cars and whatnot, but a little less known, or maybe if you follow it, Google is a major investor in this space with their investment in Waymo. And Waymo is definitely up in the front running for this space. They're actually probably right up there with the leaders in terms of the actual technology that they're developing. So good on Google for being in this space. They did actually just post, they kind of posted a rough quarter. The stock was down, I believe it was something like 9 or 10% when they reported their earnings. But even with that said, they still managed to grow their revenues by 17%. That's up at $36 billion for the quarter. That is a lot of money, guys. I'm not worried about a single rough quarter, and that's why this company comes in at number 4. Moving on to number 3, it is the Chinese company Tencent. And I do like to include some foreign stocks in my top 5 list. I don't want to be solely dependent on the US market for my growth stocks. As we do know, the different economies are constantly going through their own cycles. Just because US may be thriving, China may be doing the exact opposite, or vice versa. So it is nice to have a bit of a range and, like I said, not be solely reliant on a single geographical area. But very much like Google, Tencent is a massive tech conglomerate. I've talked about them many times on the channel. If you've been around for a while, you're probably sick of me talking about Tencent, but they're a major player in the video game space, along with social media. I will go back and dig up some of those prior videos and link them down in the description below for you guys. If you're interested in learning a little more about this company, it often gets the comparison to the Facebook of China. I don't know if I'd necessarily agree with that. I can definitely see why people make that comparison, because Tencent owns some of the largest social networks over in China. Take WeChat, for example. And between their platforms, they have like well over 1 billion monthly active users. So kind of like Facebook in terms of the reach that they have. Very powerful company. And I will include some videos down below. But if you do look at their revenue growth, it has slowed a bit over the past year. These are broken down by quarters, as you can probably tell, but these are still some major growth numbers they're posting. 44% growth, 50% revenue growth. We see as high as 61% growth just a couple years ago. And even to be posting numbers in the 30, high 20s, that is still very impressive for a company that's so large. This is one of the biggest companies over in China. And Tencent is actually one of those stocks that I do believe is looking quite attractive at its current price. You do just have to be careful that the stock does trade here over the counter. So what that means is basically it doesn't trade on an exchange like the New York Stock Exchange. So that's something that you do have to clarify with your broker. Certain brokers will allow you to invest or trade stocks over the counter, some won't. So just do a little bit more research if you're considering taking a deeper look into this stock. Moving on to number 2, and this one as well could have been up at number 1, but it is the company Microsoft. And this is a stock that honestly should be included in the FANG acronym. A lot of people tend to overlook Microsoft because they're always thinking like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, or Google. Microsoft deserves a spot up there, and some people will include it, some people won't. But this is currently the largest company in the world. I haven't actually checked as of recently, but I'm pretty sure it's either up there at number 1 or number 2. So it does deserve a spot up with those other tech companies. And everybody likes to think of Bill Gates when they think about Microsoft, and rightfully so. But the current CEO, a guy named Satya Nadella, he has done an amazing job over the years of really shifting Microsoft's business model. They went from being really focused on kind of like a transactional based company, which was really the way that it was back in the day. Like if you want to go buy Microsoft Word or an Office suite or whatever, you're paying a one-time cost, kind of the way that things used to be. Nowadays, they're very much focused on recurring revenue. So kind of like that monthly subscription plan. And whether you're a fan of that or not, that's definitely the way that businesses have been trending nowadays. They've made a major emphasis in growing their cloud business. So the growth of Azure, that's their cloud platform, has been very impressive. I actually thought that they were the second largest cloud platform behind, of course, Amazon Web Services. But as I was doing a little bit of research for this video, I was actually struggling to find some up-to-date numbers in terms of the market share and who's the leader right now. So they may be competing up for that number 1 spot. I could very well be wrong with that. And if you do know, feel free to correct me down in the comment section below. And I do get it that millennials are all about their Mac products, trying to stay hip and whatnot, but the Windows operating system is still massive, and it will be for the foreseeable future. I have no doubt about that. And if we do look at the growth trends quickly, they're growing revenues at a very, very respectable pace. This is just a clear-cut, all-around favorite stock for me. Microsoft is a wonderful company, and that's why it comes in at number 2. Moving on to my number 1 stock, favorite growth stock, and that is the company Amazon. And Amazon is my largest position in my portfolio. It has been for quite some time. It's definitely been one of the better performers for me, one of the top growth stocks out there. Looking back, it may have been a nice short-term buying opportunity back in December when the stock dropped much below that $1 trillion market cap level. And aside from their e-commerce platform, which we don't need to get into for this video, they got Twitch, which is something that I really, really like about this company. You guys know my stance on the video game space and the growth potential that I see there. I think that their investment in Twitch was really an absolute gem of an investment. I think that it's going to pay off very, very well over time. Of course, they have Amazon Web Services, which, as I just touched on, is the most successful cloud system out there. And just the way that our society is headed, Amazon is just right there, smack dab in the middle of things. Every day, people are becoming more and more confident and comfortable with online shopping and getting things like groceries online with Amazon Prime and, of course, Alexa, which they're investing very, very heavily into right now. That's one of their major bets. It's kind of tough to imagine just how things are going to be like 10 years from now. Amazon is really, really going for that full experience. Like the whole smart home movement, not too long from now, if things go well, we'll probably be at home asking like Alexa or, Google Home, hey, we're out of toothpaste, or we need more toilet paper. And of course, with the same day shipping, man, the drones may be taking over and dropping off packages. And of course, Bezos is such a visionary, definitely a CEO that I back with big, big plans for the company. And that's really the name of the game for a lot of the companies that I talked about in my top 5. When I think about the technology and how things will be like 10 years from now, a lot of these companies, I do believe, are kind of at the forefront. They're going to be the ones that are paving the way in terms of how we're going to be living 5, 10, 15 years from now. And I didn't even mention companies like Apple, which is another favorite of mine, stock that I've personally been buying, another Chinese growth stock. Alibaba is another very popular one, but those are my top 5 all-time favorite growth stocks for this video. If you're still sticking around, I appreciate you guys making it through the video. I will just ask you, let me know what your favorite growth stocks are down in the comment section below. Maybe like your favorite stock or a top 5. I'd love to hear from you guys, but that'll wrap it up for the video. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, we post a video here every Sunday. You can feel free to check out our membership group if you want to take a look at my personal portfolio and keep up to date with the trades that I place. You'll get an instant email update whenever I go make trades or any moves in my personal account. But that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, thank you guys for 15,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in the next video.